Hi everyone, this is Mookie with Jasoba. Um, we're here today to talk to Scott Shetler. He is our vegan personal trainer and he just joined Jasoba. We're so happy to have him as a partner. Hi Scott.
Hey Mookie, thanks for having me.
Of course. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're welcome.
Okay, should we just dive right into it?
I think we should. Let's
Awesome.
go for it. What do you got for me?
Okay, so Scott, can you briefly introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Scott Shetler. I'm a health and fitness professional with a little over 17 years in the industry. I'm the owner of Extreme Performance Training Systems, which is my brick and mortar training center here in the greater Atlanta area. I'm an author. I've written many books. I also do a lot of online consulting and coaching for health and fitness related goals. And that's really about it. I kind of do a lot of stuff, but it's all health and fitness related.
And actually, we are here at your gym.
We're
right
here
now,
at my
right?
training center. Yes,
Yep.
I have a training center just north of Atlanta in Norcross, Georgia.
Okay, awesome. So tell us one thing unique about you.
One thing you knew about me.
So the audience will remember
So the audience
you,
remembers
right?
me. So I can't just say I'm bald because everybody's bald nowadays. So one unique thing about me, I don't know if this is unique, but one of my focuses is on plant-based diet. Okay, so a lot of people who know me or know my history in the fitness industry, I used to compete in powerlifting and strength sports. And after a while, my health wasn't doing so great, yet I was in a role where I'm telling people that they need to be healthier. So after making some changes and things like that, I eventually I started eating plant-based diet, fully became vegan a little over 2.5 years ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And my health improved dramatically as a result. But one of the things that I wasn't doing is I wasn't focused on strength training and getting stronger like I was when I was competing in powerlifting. So I've actually gone back. Okay, I've backtracked a little bit, and I've been training a little bit heavier again. And I've been working with this group of vegan athletes called Team Plant Built. We're a group of bodybuilders, powerlifters, CrossFit athletes, and just other strength and physique related sports.
Are they nationwide?
Yeah, we're international. We've got athletes from overseas, Germany, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, I think, and I think there's some people in Brazil maybe that are interested in future. So I mean, we're getting out there, and definitely a lot of people here in the U.S. And like I said, it's all from bodybuilding, powerlifting, and other strength and physique sports. So I joined them 2 years ago, and I got back into powerlifting. So I spent over 7 years in a semi-retirement from the sport. I kind of got back into it, but it's mainly to kind of disprove, some of these ideas that you can't get big and strong following a vegan diet, and you can't get big and strong on plants. So it's so cool to team up with a group of other athletes who are all 100% vegan, who are doing really well in their sports and don't mind kind of over-the-hill aging, over-the-hill iron addict, jumping back in, trying to get better. But my ultimate goal is to exceed my best lifts that I did back when I was following a very an omnivorous diet, to see if I can get back at a lighter weight class, get my strength levels to exceed what they were. So I don't know if that's really unique, but that is kind of one of the things that I'm focused on right now. And one of the things you always hear about, vegan diets is you can't be strong, build a lot of muscle on it. So we're trying to disprove that. So.
Okay, cool. So if it's international, do you actually meet?
The meetups that we do are, for the last 3 years that Team Plant Build has been around. It's only been around for 3 years now.
Okay.
It's always been in Austin, Texas, at a big fitness convention called the Naturally Fit Games. It works out really well because they have all the sports that Team Plant Build has representatives in, all competing that same day. So typically, a powerlifting contest might be, whenever the organization holds it, and bodybuilding contest will be whenever the organization holds it. This is one of these rare fitness expos where a lot of competitions happen simultaneously. So even though a lot of us compete in different sports, we can all come together as a team. And what we usually do, not to get sidetracked here, is we usually have a big fundraiser to raise money for vegan outreach, animal welfare organizations, and things like that. And then we close out the fundraiser by going to this competition in Texas, which has been in June or July, depending on when it was for the last couple of years. So that's kind of how we always wrap up our fundraising campaign. We go kind of show that vegan athletes can kind of hang with the meat eaters. So it's kind of fun, but that is an opportunity for us all to get together. And this was the first year that we had international athletes come in.
Oh, okay.
So we'll be taking 2016 off. We'll all be doing things individually as, Team Plant Built, like doing our own competitions and stuff, Veg Fest and things like that. Then our next meetup will be in 2017,
Okay.
and that's TBD right now. I don't know if we're going to go back to the Naturally Fit Games, which have been incredibly welcoming to our organization. So we may go back there, or we may pursue some other avenues to compete in. So it's just tough to say right now. So.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So what are some of the goals that you would like to achieve?
Some of the goals I'd like to achieve
for the next 3 months.
Next 3 months. Actually, short-term goals for me, I usually break them up into personal goals and business goals. Business goals, I'm just continuing to add clients to my in-house personal training as well as my online coaching program. So I'm always looking at bringing in new people. Right now, I've added about 10 or 12 people over the last, say, month and a half.
Good.
So I'm really starting to run out of time slots. So over the next 3 months, I'd really like to kind of cap out where I'm at with my personal training clients, and maybe start to build a waiting list, or start to farm out to other trainers. That's been a big goal of mine for a long time, is to get at max capacity, and I'm almost there. The other thing is, I'd like to start working on another writing project. I've written a bunch of books, 2 of which go 100% to benefit animal welfare organizations.
Wow.
I'd like to start my third project. That is called Plant-Based Performance. It's a separate website that I run. It's all 100%. All the money from sales goes to animal welfare organizations. So I'd like to start the third project on that. So I need to start brainstorming and get that under wraps. And then I'd also, for personal goals, one is just to continue to get stronger while maintaining my health. That was one of the things that was a big issue when I was competing in powerlifting, 7-8 years ago, was even though I was getting big, strong, and all this stuff, my health was horrible. So now that I'm back to focusing on, getting stronger, I want to do it not at the expense of my health. I want to maintain my joint mobility, my flexibility, and my internal health as well. So those are kind of 3 things that I'm really focused on right now.
Okay, so moving on to the next question. What are some of the biggest changes or greatest accomplishments in your life today, would you say?
That's a good question. I don't really do a lot of taking stock of things that I've done. I just try to really stay in the moment with what I'm doing. But I think looking back, kind of in the last, I'd say, 5 years, having the realization of kind of what I want my life's purpose to be about. And I got a feeling that we're going to talk about this down the road too. You probably have some other questions that'll tie into this, so this may be a recurring theme here. But I really feel like my role in this particular lifetime on the planet right now is to help people realize what true health is, and to do everything that I can to help support animal welfare. So those 2 things became just abundantly clear for me, I'd say, in about the last 5 or 6 years. And when you have that type of direction, with goals or that type of clarity, everything that you do becomes super easy, because when you're doing something business related or personal related, all you have to do is say, is this going to get me closer to, is this going to complement my goals or not?
So get away from the goal.
Exactly. So it becomes really easy when I'm looking at things related to business, personal decisions, things like that. Just kind of having that clarity with what I feel like I'm here to do has just been awesome.
I can totally relate to that.
Yes.
So what is the hardest thing you have ever had to overcome?
In the grand scheme of things, this probably isn't really major, because I've never had any life-threatening situations or anything like that. But I'd say probably because business is such a big part of my life, the hardest thing that I ever did was stepping away, making the decision and following through with it, to step away from a comfy, cozy, kind of corporate fitness type job that I had, where I was an employee and I had a decent salary and benefits and all that stuff, and breaking away and doing my own thing. But I realized that I'd never be able to accomplish the goals that I wanted to without stepping out and getting out on my own. So that was scary. It was scary. I had been running my business simultaneously with my full-time corporate job that I was working at. It was always health and fitness related, but I really wasn't going anywhere. I kind of maxed out what I was going to do there, and I didn't have the freedom to do the things that I wanted to do the way I wanted to do them. And the only way to do that is to take the step, go in and be your own boss. But also, there's a little bit of motivation there too, because jobs are volatile nowadays, you know, and it's not like back in the, you know, when I was a kid, you know,
Yeah.
you work the same job your whole life,
For
you're
20
retired.
years, yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's not like that anymore. You can be let go from anything on a minute's notice, you know, so there really is no security. And when you realize that, you know, it really helps with making the decision to be kind of the captain of your own ship. So that was really, really scary, kind of jumping out and going out on my own. But looking back, it was the best thing I ever did, and I should have done it a long time, you know, before that. I think I'd gotten really comfy, really kind of complacent with what I was doing, and I was just kind of coasting along, managing both jobs and stepping out on my own. I mean, you really, you know, you're either going to sink or swim. So it really kind of motivates you to learn about business, to excel, get better at what you do.
Yeah.
And, you know, I become a better business person, I become a better trainer as a result. So that was probably the biggest challenge I've ever had to do, is breaking away and doing my own business.
But isn't that interesting? The unknown, actually, sometimes it's not that scary.
No, I mean, because stuff always happens. You know, everything's always in motion. As long as you're taking steps, as long as you're doing something, something comes up. You know, if you go out and just do anything, no matter how big or small, something always pops up. You meet somebody, you talk to somebody, somebody's got a contact for you, somebody's got an idea, you know, and the cool thing about that is that creates this like creative space where ideas, where businesses, where programs, all kinds of cool things pop up. And nothing, you know, not everything always sticks, you know, but sometimes you just got to go out and you got to operate in that space and take those chances. But it allows for more creativity. It allows for a lot just cooler stuff to happen than just going and punching a time clock every day.
So get out of your comfort zone.
Yes, it's not just in business either.
Yeah,
in the gym,
it's
everything.
true. Yeah,
definitely.
Okay, so who are or have been your major role models?
Role models. That's a great question, because I've had a lot of, you know, influences, whether it be from a business standpoint, you know, from a personal development standpoint. So there's, I could name probably about 20, 25 people.
Yeah.
But I think probably one of the biggest influences, at least on the professional side of things, is a strength coach named Charles Poliquin. He really kind of was ahead of his, I shouldn't say ahead of his time, but maybe ahead of the industry when it comes to strength and conditioning, training athletes and such. And his work really inspired me to go out there and explore and learn a lot of different, you know, look to overseas information. You know, a lot of the greatest strength and conditioning information comes from the old Soviet Union, Germany, Eastern Bloc countries. China now is actually really coming on strong, especially in the Olympic sports. So there are some fantastic proven methods out there that really haven't infiltrated into the U.S. except for people that have gone out there and really pursued it. So he really kind of inspired me to go out and just never stop, you know, learning, never stop educating myself. So I definitely would say he's been one of my biggest influences. And this is kind of generalized, but especially over the last like 3 to 5 years, as I've learned more about the animal welfare, I don't know if I'd want to call it an industry, but that just community.
Yes.
Everybody that I've met who dedicates their lives to working for animal welfare are some of the greatest people I've ever met. They're usually the nicest people, the kindest people, some of the most motivated and inspiring people. So anybody who would sacrifice, and I don't even want to call it a sacrifice, because they're really like having such a huge impact on animal life, animal welfare. Anybody who would dedicate their lives 100% to doing that, they're usually some of the best people you're ever going to meet. So anybody who dedicates their life to improving animal welfare has got to be some of the biggest inspirations in my life, hands down.
Totally agree.
But what's the saying? Did you ever hear animal when you work in animal rescue, animal welfare, you lose your mind but you find your soul?
Oh,
isn't that cool?
We're getting deeper and deeper.
Yes.
So the last question, how about that?
Yes. Last question.
Who are the key people in your life, and what do they provide for you?
That's a good question. I really don't, because I don't really have a lot of, I shouldn't say I don't have a lot of close friends. I mean, I don't, because business keeps me so occupied with stuff. Yeah. I'm not the guy that goes out and hangs out with people, you know. Yeah. I mean, I do have a lot of friends and contacts, you know, through business and through, you know, volunteer organizations and stuff like that. So definitely those are who I consider my immediate friends and family and stuff. But definitely my wife, Lisa, has been really supportive. She's an entrepreneur as well, so she kind of gets, you know, these long hours, the crazy work situations, things like that. It's tough to manage your own business if the person you're with is not supportive of what you're doing and kind of understanding. So definitely she's been a huge support person. She actually was really, I don't want to say gave me all the confidence, but the motivating factor, when I say motivating, probably pushing me off a cliff to start my own business. But she definitely gave me a lot of confidence to, take that step and go out there and see what I can do. So definitely she's been very supportive. And then I just probably say the people that I come into contact with on a daily basis, my clients, without my clients, I really can't do what I can do, because if you don't have that business coming in, I can't run my own facility, which allows me to do the things that I want to do for people in regard to health and wellness, to be able to have the income to donate to animal welfare organizations, to have some time and the ability to do the things that I can do to support animal welfare. So without my clients and without the people I interact with on a daily basis in regards to business, they're definitely a huge support system for me. So I think that's probably where I would leave it. I mean, I can't. My parents have been, supportive. I mean, without their guidance, growing up in my developmental years, they've definitely been a source of inspiration as far as kind of doing my own thing, because they were never really too restrictive.
Wow. So your childhood. Okay.
Yeah. So on the same time, they weren't mega supportive. Like when I wanted to be a rock star, my dad wasn't having anything of it. He said, okay, but just realize you're gonna have to get a real job. And I don't like that, because people can be rock stars and do amazing things. I think the attitude that you should encourage, children to pursue whatever their heart desires, because things can always work out. But on the flip side, they also weren't like mega restrictive to me either. So, it was never like, oh, you just need to go to school and become a doctor or a lawyer, with tattoo sleeves. That wasn't going to happen
Although
anyway.
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. But that just seems like always the pathway to success, right?
Yes.
You can be successful in anything that you want to do, provided that you have the passion and the love for what it is that you're doing. And then the success comes if you've got that type of drive and that type of determination. So I definitely say my wife, my parents, and then the people that I deal with on a daily basis. I should say deal with. The people I work with on a daily basis. So somebody's going to listen, you deal with me? Is that what you're saying?
Thank you for dealing with me today.
I deal with Mookie all the time. So.
Well, thank you so much,
You're welcome.
Scott, for joining us today. Before we end, do you have any final thoughts?
Eat plants, lift weights, and take some personal time and meditate. That's always been my philosophy: is eat plants, lift iron, meditate.
That is funny. We should talk about meditation the next time.
Yes.
Seriously.
We'll just sit here and not say anything.
But thank you, everyone, and we'll be back.